Hello, welcome to my space station. If you've been watching the news lately, you would have definitely heard about Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore. These are two astronauts which are stranded in space on board the ISS. Now, if you haven't heard of it, well, I'll update you now. So basically, these two astronauts are as a tourist mission. Now, these are experienced astronauts, but they have flown in many missions before. Sunita Williams is an Indian descent which works for NASA, and Butch Wilmore is an American who works for NASA. Basically, these both are very experienced and they went for a 7 to 8 day mission to test the Boeing Starliner aircraft to not aircraft spacecraft towards the ISS, right? So their mission plan was just for around 7 to 8 days. However, upon docking with the International Space Station, they soon figured out that their spacecraft, the Boeing Starliner, experienced many technical faults. Some of them which were a leak of helium. Basically, the helium stored in the rocket was leaked right into outer space, and now they couldn't actually fire the thrusters. There were also glitches with the technology. The instruments on board were glitchy, right? So when the time came to return back to Earth, their spacecraft was not deemed ready to be able to take them back. Now, this is not much of an issue on board if you're on something like the ISS. First of all, there are crews already there. The expedition, I think 71 is already on the ISS, right? And the thing is that the ISS often keeps itself supplied with loads of backup supplies, right? So food and water is not much of an issue. But the issue being is that they were supposed to return like around last week. They were supposed to return. Now it's been more than a week that they've been stranded. Now, this might not seem like much because NASA actually just contacted SpaceX, and SpaceX agreed to in early 2025, so in a few months I'd say, SpaceX agrees to launch a Crew Dragon mission to basically bring the two astronauts back. But basically, this is a big failure for Boeing than it is for NASA or something, because see, Boeing has a lot of setbacks lately, not only in the space industry but also in the aviation industry, with their recent failures in maintaining their aircraft. Now failures in maintaining the spacecraft are showing. Basically in 2019, Boeing also encountered loads of failures when their spacecraft just won't even take off the pad. Now, when the Starliner eventually reached space and docked, it encounters a problem in space. So this is a very big threat to Boeing's contract with NASA, basically, which is to provide spacecraft. It's around a 4 billion contract, which is a lot for a company like Boeing, right? So they value it a lot. So basically, due to this, NASA has been starting to question about whether they should keep the contract with Boeing. As of now, as of 15th of September, when I'm recording this video, NASA has agreed to keep the contract going, right? They will support Boeing in bringing their astronauts back, and they will support Boeing in making sure that the Starliner remains safe to operate. Actually, in the first hours after it was found, the technicians both at NASA and Boeing merged to try to diagnose the issue. Like, how can we resolve it? Is there a way to keep to ensure a safe re-entry even with the helium leak? And is there a way to on the ground fix the technical malfunction on board the Starliner? Well, they tried a lot and they didn't succeed. So that's why the last resort was to send a space dragon up to bring the astronauts back. Also, if you're wondering, no, there's no space on the Expedition 71 mission that is gonna go back. No, there's no space. So obviously they have to bring in a whole new spacecraft up there. But this is a very big flaw, right? And seriously, this is a thing that we should consider when we think about the growing tourist space. We should consider this when we're thinking about the space tourism industry, because see, these are experienced astronauts, okay? They know how to handle situations like this. But take in the future, an unexperienced person is going to space on a tourist mission and something like this happens. Let's imagine there's no one on the ISS to help them. Expedition 71 doesn't exist. How can that person handle such a scenario only with help from the ground? So this is a serious issue that if we want to continue this space tourism industry, we have to make sure that the aircraft we use are 100% reliable. We do not expect a person with no knowledge of space, no knowledge of how to handle these scenarios to be able to fix them, right? So if there are any more updates, I will continue to provide you with them, and this is all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye bye.